Hello YouTube, this is Tammy Pie and I'm back with another video. I am making part 2 to Battle Royale for the top 10 collage decks. And today's episode is going to be the David and Goliath episode. So David and Goliath, right? We all know the story. The little guy comes in, and because he's courageous and fighting for the right thing, he beats the giant with the super heavy weaponry. There's all kinds of it's a common trope. Okay, so if you look at a movie like Aaron Brockovich, is that how you say that? Aaron Brockovich? Aaron Brockovich. You have the little lawyer who's barely a lawyer who comes out of nowhere and beats the giant corporation who's doing all the wrong stuff. You have things like Game of Thrones, where Oberon and the Mountain fought, and you assume that Oberon's going to win because he's so good and so cool and you want him to win, but really in the end, the Mountain knocks him down. Or even fairy tales like Jack and the Beanstalk, where Jack is kind of presented as kind of a stupid boy for doing what he did, but in the end, he beats the giant, right? So in this competition, I'm going to have, and none of these decks are super tiny or super giant, but I'm going to take 5 smaller decks, the David decks, and I'm going to take 5 larger decks, the Goliath decks, and I'm going to ask them a question. We're going to do 2 card readings because we don't want to get too long, too in the weeds. We're going to do 2 card readings for questions that might take a little courage to answer. And if you're into it, come along for the ride. Oh, I wanted to say too, before we get started, I have added 3 more decks to the competition. And I got to let you know this because one of the decks is in the competition. So right here are our competitors sitting in the circle getting ready to battle. And one of them is the Klimt Tarot. So that's one of the ones that I added. Also, I am adding the Textured Tarot and the Intuitive Night Goddess Tarot, because I didn't realize those are really very, and they're competitive. Those are all great decks, and they are collage, whether you noticed it or not. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to put the down thing for the battle. Oh wait, one more thing. I keep forgetting. Okay, you can see also in the background here, I have a little covered dish that has all the small decks in it. And that has the large decks in it. So I'm going to choose, I have the papers cut and folded exactly the same way. So I'm going to choose from the jar. And then I'm going to choose from this bag the small decks. And then, can you see it? Well, behind these decks here, there's a little dish that has the question. So everything is totally random. So, yeah, may the odds be ever in your favor. So let's get right into it. Here we have the large decks, and I'm looking away. I'm just going to reach in and grab a random slip of paper. And the large deck is going to be the Universal Mind Oracle. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. First one I grab, make sure I'm only grabbing one. Oh, interesting. Okay, and it is battling the Rosebud Tarot. And here we're going to look at what question to ask. Again, these are questions that take some courage to ask. Is my husband having an affair? Oh my God. All right, hang on, let me get the decks. All right, so here we have the Universal Mind Oracle, which is very old and out of print. And this is an oracle. Is this fair to ask a question like this when you have something like tarot, which to me is kind of more responsive in a question like this? But maybe, maybe not. We'll see. So what I'm going to do is I am going to do a 2-card reading with each of these 2 decks, and whoever I think gives the best reading, the best answer to the question, will get 2 points. And once again, the points are going to be saved to the end. After I've done a few of these videos, I am going to add up everybody's points, and hopefully everyone will have competed the same amount of time, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so actually, is my husband having an affair is kind of the least intense of these questions. Some of these questions are questions that many readers flat out will not read for. But this could be one of them, because, I mean, if you've got somebody sitting across from you who is in a state of, they might be ready to leave, or they think their husband isn't having an affair, or they don't know, whatever, this can be really a scary question to answer, right? So Universal Mind, is my husband having an affair? All right, and we've got 2 cards here. Let's see if I can get them straight. And I'm gonna move in just a little bit so you can see the imagery. Very interesting couple of cards, right? Journey and commitment. So how would I use these 2 cards to answer this person who is having, like, she's stressed out. She wants to know, my husband is acting weird. I think there's something going on. What is up with this? And what I might say to this person is, when you decide to get married to someone, to be with someone for what can be a lifetime, when you partner with someone, sometimes there are ups and there are downs. There's going to be hard roads to travel, and then there's going to be great easy times. And that kind of decision takes real commitment. You have to realize that sometimes it's going to be difficult. And I don't know if this person is having an actual affair, but if it is important to you to continue building this relationship, that shouldn't matter so much as trying to figure out what it is that you are not communicating to each other. So my suggestion is that you should have some real heart-to-heart conversations with him about his commitment and whether or not he is actually in the journey for the foreseeable future anyway. Okay, so that is the Universal Mind Oracle by Michelle Black. Next we have our David candidate. Okay, now so it isn't a huge difference, right? But this one's smaller and this one's bigger. So that's why they're David and Goliath. So this is the Rosebud Tarot, published by Wiser Books. And the author is Amanda Lee Stilwell and Diana Rose Harper. So I'm gonna give it a little shuffle. Is my husband having an affair? Is my husband having an affair? Is my husband having an affair? All right. Should I go in even a little closer? Yeah, let's go a little closer. Now this one, to me, yeah, your husband wants to have all the things. He wants to have his cake and eat it too. And he's actually thinking about leaving you. He's looking at possibility of divorce and how that's going to work out for him. So this is a very direct answer. If I were reading for a person who was really worried about this, I would say, yes, your husband's having an affair. Now, Universal Mind seemed a little deeper, but I gotta say, Rosebud was pretty exact. So I'm giving it to Rosebud. Next, we're going to do Ritual Tarot. Against, ooh, Klimt. Oh, baby. And the question is my child just missing or dead? Ooh, gnarly. Okay, hang on. So, I have been talking about, I was watching the show Medium. And I was telling my husband the last couple of times I went to Newt's, there was a class on solving crimes with mediumship. So this is not completely out of the realm of possibility, is it? But it is a scary thing to have to answer. So we're going to do Ritual Tarot first. 2-card draw. Hang on just a second while I pull it out. That's what she said, right? Okay. So that's not auspicious. All right. This is the big deck. So I gotta side shuffle it. I can riffle this, but I don't really see the point right now. So is my child just missing or are they dead? Oh boy. Rough question. And Ritual Tarot, man, not only is it a large deck, but it's kind of a giant in the tarot sphere, right? People have very intense opinions about this deck. They have very intense feelings for it, as do I. All right, and this is the unmarked version. This is actually the first edition with no lust card, just her original, Tiara May's original vision. Is my child just missing or are they dead? Okay. 2 cards. Here we go. Okay. Ooh. Okay. 6 of Swords. And this, I believe, is the 5 of Cups. Hang on, let me make sure. Okay, it's the 4 of Cups. So I've drawn this card before. All right, 6 of Swords, 4 of Cups. I'm going to say your child has run away. Your child felt restricted, and they were really interested in trying to live life on their own terms. I think if you can just hold out hope and let them do what they need to do, your child will eventually contact you, at least to let you know what's happening. So at least there wasn't death, right? All right. So let's go to the David deck. And this is the Klimt Tarot. And I don't know why I didn't think of this as a collage deck, but it really is. The artist has taken drawings and different elements and collaged them together. Ooh, don't you just love that? Low Scarabeo Tough Box cardstock. Yummy. Okay. Is my child just missing, or are they dead? And there's definitely some cards you wouldn't want to pull here, right? But here we go. Let's see what we've got here. Here's the Knight of Wands and the Six of Chalices. I would say that this might be a situation where your child was kind of led astray by someone they felt was very strong and overpowering, and they thought that this person was going to do all the right things, and right now they are realizing that this might not have been such a great idea. So I don't see death here, but I do see a certain amount of the younger person is really possibly in a situation that they need to get out of. And that is the Klimt Tarot. And see how much smaller it is than Ritual. Very much David and Goliath. And honestly, both of these are good readings. Hang on, let me see who's at the door. So I think I'm going to give it to Ritual, because I felt like Ritual was a little more exact, a little more answer to the question, whereas the Klimt kind of gave me a little feeling of maybe they're in a bad situation. Ritual really did just say, no, look, they're gone for a while. Don't worry, they'll call you later. All right, next set of competitors. This is the large decks. Ooh, Goblins and Gardens against the small deck. Just one paper, please. Oh, against Sistine. This is going to be a rough one. And the question is, will I get pregnant? Oh, nice. Okay, hang on. Okay, so our David is the much lauded Sistine Tarot by Rosebud on Instagram. And do I have... No, this is just one of those. Or one card is exactly wrong. And the Goblins and Gardens. This is one of the decks that I truly, truly, truly had on my wish list and was dying to have. And honestly, the size is not that... I mean, Goblins and Gardens is a little wider, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll just see. Okay. And this question, will I get pregnant? Honestly, I don't understand why people are reticent about answering that question, because to me, I think that's a perfectly reasonable question to ask a fortune teller. So, but you know, I have heard on the internet that through Instagram and YouTube and even some people at like the conferences and stuff, they will not answer that question. They are not interested in telling people about whether or not they are going to procreate it, which is fine. That's up to you. Any of these questions you can answer or you can not answer. Look at that yummy gilding. Oh, I love this. Okay, will I get pregnant? And we got 2 cards from Goblins and Gardens, created by Jonathan Sasha. Yeah, cool deck. Okay, we're going to turn them around. Now, to me, I don't do reversal, sorry. To me, there are some cards that are like, obviously, totally you are going to get pregnant. But, however, this is kind of a roundabout answer, okay? This is, to me, somebody in the relationship is not quite ready. Someone is still practicing some kind of birth control. And it may be that they're afraid of the change this is going to bring to their lives. It may be that they maybe didn't have such a great childhood, or they didn't have such a great experience with children. So they are a little bit afraid of the whole pregnancy thing. So maybe you need to address this with your partner. Kind of not necessarily what you're expecting, right? But I'm telling you, there are definitely cards in the tarot. Hang on. We got reversals happening here and I cannot. Okay. Fortunately, or unfortunately, however you see it, this deck is not entirely reversible. Now, there are extra cards in this deck, so this deck technically could have been a Goliath deck, because it's got a bunch of extra cards. But that's fine. We will leave them in and read for, am I going to get pregnant? Am I going to get pregnant? What do you say, Sistine? You saw that. The one upside down card. Drives me crazy. Okay, here we go. Upside down. Ooh, okay. Okay. King of Coins. Interesting. That reads to me like someone is trying really, really hard for this pregnancy, and someone is kind of waiting for it to happen. The Pisces is going to be the dreamy person, right? This looks super dreamy. The Pisces person is like, well, it's going to be fine when it happens, but we don't have to try that hard. But this King of Coins, he wants to be, dropping some stuff all the time, trying to get it to make it happen. He's being a little bit of a bully about it. But to me, it seems like you'll know when the right time is coming, and and it's fine. You're completely relaxed about it, which is kind of a good way to be when you're looking to get pregnant, because being stressed out about it can be a problem. So I would say with both of these, and also the swimming fish, yeah, I think you'll get pregnant, and I think it'll be fairly soon, and I think it'll be the exact right time for both of you. Which one did you think was better? It's hard to say, because I love the Sistine so much. I'm going to give it to Sistine. But Gardens and Goblins did a really good job. Sistine Tarot, y'all, gets the points. All right, next contestants. The large deck, Jumbledance. The small deck, Crow's Magic. Ooh. And the question, should I quit my job? Ugh, that's a rough question. And honestly, it's a question that gets asked. Okay, here we go. The David deck is Crow's Magic by Londa Marks. And Jumbledance by, who's this by? Wheel of Change, Alexandra Genetti. Both fabulous decks that I have not used very much. So this is going to be interesting. And you got to admit, if you're a reader, if you have read in public, a lot of people are asking this question. A lot of people are asking about their jobs, about how they're going to make a living, about whether or not they should stick with what is safe, or if they should try and go for the bigger, better place. And that's kind of a scary thing, right? It's a scary thing to tell somebody, yeah, go ahead. This is the big deck, obviously. It's a little hard to riffle, but really nice slippery cardstock. Oh, God, I really like this deck. Great. And this is like Ritual. It's super collage. It's just really good collage, right? Should I quit my job? Let's see. Hang on, let me. Okay, here we go. All right. Now, very interesting. Okay, so it feels to me here with these two cards that you actually already know what you're going to do. You have already weighed this out, decided that what's happening at work is unfair, it's uncool, and you're not putting up with it anymore. And I feel like you have an opportunity that is out there that is going to change things for you. It's kind of scary, because this job that you've been working, you might have been working it for a while. Look at the birds here, and the trees. And this is a big change for you. Look at that butterfly. Yeah. But as you've weighed it out, it is much more important for you to move on and to get things going. So I would say, yeah, go ahead, do your thing. It looks good for you. Kind of a scary thing to tell somebody, right? Yeah, go ahead, quit your job. But I mean, they asked. If somebody is coming to a fortune teller and saying, you know, I'm thinking about it, and I mean, I might be inclined to say, look, hedge your bets. Make sure that you're safe before you do this. But to me, those two cards were absolutely, yeah. Okay, Crow's Magic. What do you say? Should I quit my job. Here we go. Do we need to move in closer? Nah, it's cool. All right. Oh, this is a bird of a very different feather. 5 of Cups, Queen of Swords. This is telling me you're kind of a whiner. You're being a bitch about this. Sometimes when you go to work, work is work. It's hard. You have to figure out how to work it out. And, you know, maybe there's someone you're not getting along with. You need to dig deep and figure it out, because this is not worth losing your main money for. You really, you need to cut out the bullshit. You need to have a good stern talking to yourself and figure out a way to get along. Whoa. So once again, you kind of get into the groove of this. And both of these readings are pretty good, right? Both of them are really useful. But I felt like Jumbledance stood right out. It stood up and said, yeah, go, do the thing. So I'm going to give it to Jumbledance. All right, so we've reached the last 2 decks. And this is an interesting combination because these 2 decks are just completely opposite. This is the, oh, hang on. This is the Ancient Ritual Postures, which this will be kind of interesting. I don't know if it makes a difference, but the backs are there are several suits, and the suits have different backs. I don't think it makes a difference. And this is the Tiny Sparrow Tarot. I don't even remember what the last question is. Ooh, this is harsh. Okay, so with this one, I am going to have to look up the, what exactly they're talking about. But should I continue to see this doctor? So I'm going to do Tiny Sparrow first this time, because it'll just be easier for me. Should I continue to see this doctor? And this is kind of a coverall for all those medical questions that people are like, I would never do medical. I would never tell somebody what to do and what not to do. But, sometimes people are like having trouble with the medical profession. Sometimes they've been getting different kinds of advice from different directions. And if you have spent some time figuring out in the tarot, or whatever deck you might want to use for a question like this, there are definite indications in the cards which will give you direction. I mean, I'm not entirely opposed to answering this question in a reading. We're going to move this. Should I continue to see this doctor? Okay, what do you say, Tiny Sparrow? Okay. Wow, that's pretty obvious, isn't it? This doctor has disappointed you for the final time. You've given him a bunch of chances. To me, this is saying you have another doctor in mind, and this other doctor may be a little better suited to give you the help that you need. I mean, that's just what I'm saying. So, ritual postures. This is, usually I use this deck to kind of enhance a tarot reading, but I mean, Oracle reads too, right? Oracle will give you answers you're looking for. All you got to do is give it a chance. So, should I continue seeing this doctor? All right. Greek youth and the maiden and Inanna. All right, y'all. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I am going to read the guidebook with you. Hang on a second. Interestingly, these are both initiation cards, and the deck is very well shuffled, so it's kind of weird to get two initiation cards. There's at least, I think there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different suits. Well, at least 5 suits. One card is, 2 of the cards are their own suit. Okay, so initiation, the Greek youth and maiden, 120, and Inanna is right after it. So perfect. Okay, Greek youth and the maiden. Notice the ways you're holding back in your life. Remember that in dying to the old, you will know life in a new way. Get ready for a bigger meaning to reveal itself in your life. If you're afraid, seek the support of those who have walked the way before you. We are the ones known as the Greek youth and maiden. We guide you to the secrets of being reborn, the essence of initiation. Enter with us into a cave, perhaps a vulva, close and warm, excuse me, smelling of sweat, the heat of other bodies all around. Is it too much? Don't be afraid. We are with you. Don't hold back. We have given you coins for the crossing of the river to pay the boatman to carry you to the underworld. Don't hold back. You will learn the secret of dying and of being reborn. When you return, your life will have a bigger meaning, knowing death, and you will know life in a new way. It is the essence of initiation. We are with you. Don't be afraid. And then Inanna, the path of transformation is a journey. Prepare for it. There's not just one gate, but 7. Pace yourself and go the distance. Whatever. So this is, I'm reading the kind of instructional part of the thing. It gives a description of the posture. So with this deck, you can like do the posture. So you can kind of live the deck. And then the beginning part is poetry. So I am the one known as Inanna, Queen of Heaven and Earth. Sumerians told my story on the tablets of clay. On my journey to the underworld to face 7 judges and pass through the 7 gates to be stripped of all but essence. It is the path of initiation. I am Inanna, Queen of Heaven and Earth. My sister Ereshkigal is Queen of Death. She awaits in the underworld. As you descend on the path of transformation, columns of fire may arise through your body, light may pour out through your breasts, and you will be stripped of all but essence. You will understand the nature of death and fire. There are 7 gates. Come with me on this journey. It is a path of initiation. Okay, so I don't know about you, but I get from that you are still walking with this doctor. And this doctor is going to try everything. And you may be frustrated because he keeps making you do test after test after test, but not sticking with it may land you on the path to death. And that is, well, that's a problem, isn't it? So you need to stick with this doctor. Do not quit going to this doctor. Very definite answer, in my opinion. Interesting. So who do you think won there? I'm going to give it to ancient ritual postures, even though it was a little more difficult for me to get around to the answer. Once I get used to this deck, that's some really hardcore messaging right there. So Ancient Ritual Postures is the winner. And we're going to do one more thing before we go, okay? Okay, we're going to do, I'm going to push this out again. We're going to do just a lightning round. With all the winners, we're going to look at the sun. And with all the losers, we're going to look at and of course, Ancient Ritual Postures was a winner, but I have the Sekhmet card, which is that's kind of a sunny card, right? So we're going to pick the one that I like the best out of all these sun cards. Look at this from Rosebud. Isn't she great? What? Right out in front. And really, Sistine is a little similar, right? Look at her and all her shiny regalia. And then Jumbledance. Kind of cool because with Jumbledance we have the two children, which is more RWS-y. Yeah, actually it's even Thothy. So interesting in Jumbledance. I'm gonna take Sekhmet out, even though she's pretty awesome. She's not my favorite. You're not going to believe this, but I'm going to take Sistine out because she's not my favorite. I do love these two. But you know what, y'all? There is so much in this Ritual Tarot Sun card. Honestly, when it comes to Sun, I'm about to do Top Tarot Trumps the Tower. I think I'm going to use Ritual for that too, because look at all her eyes. And like, she's addressing how things come round. She's addressing like actual sun, like mother and son. These old, I just love this one. So we're gonna give a point to Ritual Tarot for just having the most fabulous of sun cards. And then I am going to go to the losers and look at the moon cards, okay? Hang on just for a second. The other card, I thought this was a sun for a second, but it's actually a Leo card. Oh, this one is so good. Yummy. Okay, so once again, because we have one oracle in this group, it's a little harder to figure out the oracle card. I didn't want to just pick out my favorite. I was trying to pick out the card that seems the most moony. This one was Pie. This is pretty good. Not really, but I thought this was the closest to really the moon meaning. So yeah. So here we go. Lightning round. Which is my favorite of these cards? Look at all this moony goodness. Oh boy, the Klimt is really a standout. I don't know if you can see through the camera, but because of all the little shininess of this card, it's kind of, you know, my little crow brain is like, ooh, pretty, shiny. This is just, it's such a cool deck. It's so interesting, right? But I think that, and probably this looks like the kind of flower that only blossoms every once in a while. And I am into like the weird transformative shape-shifting people, but not my favorite image-wise. Crow's Magick is up there. It just really is. Just delish. And I don't know if it is because I was looking at all the different cool pictures, but honestly, I love that. You know what? This is the one. This wins the lightning round. So Universal Mind gets another point. All right, my friends, thank you so much for joining me for the Battle Royale of the In Search of the Top 10 Collage decks. And like I said before, all the points will be saved till the end of the series. I'm going to try to make sure that each deck gets at least a chance to be a part of the competition. And in the end, the decks which have the most points will be my top 10 collage decks. So until next time, thank you for coming.